I had to see her face when she said that shit. It was like the most condescending face in the history of condescending faces.
I'm just saying, she's getting older, and then there are women who actually, not to say that they wanted their husband to die, but it's just like they didn't have a good marriage, and they're excited about the idea of finding somebody who they really wanted to be.
So, do you think, do you think that like religious views and like spiritual views, if you will, have to like definitively align in order for a couple to be successful?
No, I think ideas have to definitively align. The objective.
Y'all like that term I used? It fucked up right there.
It really didn't. The objective of what you're trying to do, because if you want to be married and that person wants to be married, y'all could be married just like a business transaction.
Mm-hmm.
I need a wife,
Mm-hmm.
and you need a husband. I'm going to take care of you as a woman. A woman could, like how they say, the housewives are always like, they messing with some rich African man nobody ever sees.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if your idea is that you just want to get, I mean, you see that with the Caucasian women. They don't ever see, I live in the suburbs. I go to Hobby Lobby on the weekdays. They're not at work. They're making stuff. They go to high school. They marry their high school sweetheart, daddy big bucks, and they stay married for a long time. They don't really have many accomplishments on their own besides their children and what they invest in their children, but their husband is highly accomplished. So to me, those are like, and all they spend a lot of their time doing is making sure that they stay in shape,
Mm-hmm.
look good,
Right,
and take care of the children so that they can continue that business transaction of marriage.
That's a pretty shitty way to live, though. I would think. You know what I'm saying? You don't
But I
really
mean, it
have
might
an
be even
existence to
exchange.
yourself.
You get to
Sure, but
you
you
get to
still
go to Dubai.
but you still don't get to be you at the end of the day, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you watch Snapped. You see how many of those are just
Actually, let's clarify. I do not watch Snapped.
Oh, okay.
I don't watch any of that nonsense.
Most of the people, a lot of people on here, I'm pretty sure, because Snapped is a very popular show.
Yeah. I'm sure they do.
And
though.
it's,
I'm sure
it's
my
particularly
listeners do watch
about
Snapped.
women killing men, and most of the women kill men that they're married to for insurance money.
I hate to hear shit about that, so I prefer not to listen to it.
I know, but it's still a reality. I know
No, it definitely is a reality.
There are things that he tries to keep himself protected from.
But and you know what? I want to mention that too. I actually I talked to a friend of mine. I'm gonna keep this one short. Like I really, and I want to raise awareness to this shit. I really had no idea how bad abuse is towards black women in our community. I had no idea how bad like episodes of like I don't know, sexual misconduct, rape, sexual abuse, sexual assault. I had no idea how bad that was among black women. How many, black women have cases of that in their past. Like, we got to raise awareness to that, and we got to start protecting women over that shit. And we got to stop abusing women, too. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. I'm sorry. I have to be serious at some point in the cast. I got to let you know that always happens. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point I'm making about people being open. There's a lot of dysfunction going on with people, and nobody's doing anything about the dysfunction. They just keep there's a lot of attention bringers to causes, but nobody is actually doing anything about the cause.
Right.
I don't know if anybody's noticed that, because now with social media, people can say whatever they want to say. They could say, "Oh, everybody needs to stop doing this and stop doing that," but they don't even start with themselves by stopping doing anything.
Right.
So, I mean, if we're going to bring up causes, and I know everybody has heard this quote before from Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world. So if that even starts with you, if that starts with you making sure that you have children, you don't just let anybody babysit your children. You don't just let anybody, your child go to everybody's sleepover just because they were invited.
Right.
Because there are predators out there, and we have to be aware that when they grow up, that dysfunction continues, and then it becomes a cycle, and you were responsible at some point to stop that cycle.
Right.
But you weren't mindful, and you didn't pay attention, and so now we're dealing with a lot of the result of the dysfunction that was going on, that was covered up, and now we're trying to date people who have so many issues or never saw their parents married.
One one of my best friends, Tyrone, we were talking. We were sitting up talking one day. We had did some reading out of the Bible, and we sat up and talked for a little while. And like we came to the conclusion that majority of the issues in the Black American community could be fixed by one relationship: the black man and the black woman. If that shit's fixed, a huge majority of the issues that we have, the fundamental issues that we have, just in that one relationship, that should have changed. Raising kids, how kids are educated, what they get to see, what they grow up doing. That should have changed everything. If we could better that relationship, even so much as just dating and just doing it properly. Maybe the two don't end up together, but if the approach is right, if the actions are right between those two, and there's respect between those two, the relationship between men and women could be better. If that shit could happen, we could fix like all of our, I won't say all, majority of our fundamental issues that we have as black people. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we got to work towards. Like, it can't be your way, it can't be my way. It's got to be our way. We got to fix it from that perspective.
Another thing about being accountable. Everybody has to be accountable, because that's the reason why marriage is so, well, back in the day, even you talking about Martin and Gina, you talking about all the movies back in the day. It was nothing wrong with a black man loving a woman. That used to be what people wanted to do. And now people make it seem uncool. It's about, when you marry somebody, you going in front of God, you making that commitment. So you going in front of whatever God you believe in that's higher than you, and saying, this is the person that I'm bringing to you, so you can make us to help us together to commit to each other for as long as we possibly can, for the rest of our lives, through sickness and health, through whatever. I'm going to be there for you. And then all those people that you invite to your wedding are witnesses to help you be accountable for what you just committed to. They're not just people that you just inviting. You don't want people to come see your dress. You have to be mindful of who you're inviting, because those are the people that's supposed to say, hey, friends, people who really care about you, a community of people that say, this is the right and wrong thing.
That's like, we're not accountable. Like, we're not accountable at all. Like, and I had to realize this in the conversation that I had with my friend about the domestic abuse issues that us black men that we have, where we provide, if you will, towards our black women. And we, you know what I'm saying? We're sexually abusing them. You know what I'm saying? We're the ones abusing them. We're the ones raping them, stuff like that. That shit right there. Like, I wasn't aware of that. You know what I'm saying? And I was closed-minded to it. I'm like, yo, I don't do it. So why the fuck do I give about it? But wait just a second. That's just like the All Lives Matter issue. Right. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not willing to look at it from another perspective, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not willing to look at it objectively and see it for what it is, I'm no better than the people I'm talking about on this podcast all the time. So we have to be accountable, because we're the ones doing it. We're the ones abusing our women, bro. Like, that's us doing that shit. It's not white men don't really even like black women unless they talking about fucking them. That's it.
Well, and that's abuse too.
You know what I'm saying?
It's about education.
Yeah.
It's about educating our people, or every person, on the fact that everybody's human, and everybody has needs, and everybody has wants, and everybody has dreams and desires, and that we have to educate people and give people tools to say, hey, because like some child might start acting out as soon as they start getting sexually abused.
Right.
The teacher don't notice. The mama didn't notice. The grandma didn't notice. Why? Because everybody is distracted. Cell phones, TV, going out, doing whatever. Everybody's distracted. I remember one key thing with me as far as growing up was my family, we always had dinner together. We sat down as a family, my mother, my father, me, my brother, my sister. We ate dinner together, and we talked. And so I guess what our parents were doing was getting to know us, getting to know what we like, what we don't like. If we were, I noticed for the last couple of days, you ain't been what's wrong? What's wrong? You've been quiet at the table.
Right.
And I think that those type of things will help, just being aware of, you got a whole human being in front of you that you don't even pay attention to.
Right.
And the abuser is probably coming from a long line of abuse themselves.
Right.
So it's not just locking them up, kicking their ass, or doing whatever. It's about being accountable, being educated, because people also are in denial about the fact that could even happen.
So
I wish a nigga would touch my person. I wish a nigga would do this.
The fact that
your daughter didn't been touched.
The fact that I brought that up, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I let people know, like, what my point right now. Like, every man that's listening to this, I want you to go.
Trouble.
No, y'all not in trouble at all. I want you to go to your moms, your sister, your daughter, your niece, close family friend, any female that's close to you. I want you to go and ask them, have they ever had these situations like this happen to them before? You know what I'm saying? Ask them about it. And you don't necessarily have to make them go into detail about it, but ask them about it. And I would just suggest to keep tabs on them. You know, let them know that, you know what I'm saying, you're somebody that they can talk to. You know, be an active, you know what I'm saying, be an active part of their life, especially young girls, man. Like we gotta be here for the young girls, man, cause they have to see what a man is supposed to do, like not just what niggas do, like. And that's another thing. Stop teaching your kids to be like you, motherfucker. Stop. We not the best people around. Like, stop teaching your kids to do what the fuck you do. Teach them to do better than you. You know what I'm saying? But I challenge every man that's listening to this. Ask your wife. Ask whoever. Ask any woman close to you. Hey, have you ever had something like this happen to you before?
And also, talk about dating. Talk to your children about dating. Talk to your brother.
If they old enough. I'm not talking to my 13-year-old niece about dating shit.
Okay, well, if they're old enough.
She can go out with me.
And even with you're being an example at that time until it is to be expressed in words. My niece, she was like, she's 5. She was 5, and she was like, my brother, him and his wife are divorced, so he goes and gets her for a week, so they spend time together. He's like, what do you want to eat? And she was like, I want to eat Taco Bell. And my brother was like, well, no, we're not going to eat Taco Bell. I'm going to take you to eat steak. She's like, I don't want steak. She cried. She said she didn't want steak. So anyway, he takes her to a very, very nice restaurant. He makes her get dressed and everything. And they went and ate steak. And now she thinks that she can no longer go to Taco Bell because of that. But he just said, like...
And that's what she's supposed to think.
But it's funny because...
That's exactly what she's supposed to think.
It's funny because it's just a small thing, but it's setting her up for... In life... People who love you, they take their time with you. They don't just give you anything off a fly. They think, they're intentional about what they're doing with you. And I think that's what I mean about being intentional, aware, mindful. So I think that you got to let's show each other how to date. Like, my parents never talked to me about dating. They just told me I couldn't. And then I went to college when I was 17. I didn't know about sex. I didn't know about dating. I thought that if you had sex from the back, that it was only through the butt. That's how little I knew about sex.
Woohoo!
I literally did. I didn't know, because there was nothing. My mom didn't work, and my dad got off work at 4:00. So, and my dad, he wasn't he was like a big buff, dark skinned dude. So none of the boys. I remember a boy told me that he liked me, and he was like, "But I was scared of your daddy," So I didn't. It wasn't like no boys was coming knock on the door. Hey, can Natalie come outside and play? And I couldn't really go outside like that unless I was going outside with my girlfriends. My dad was just like, you ain't just be hanging out in no nigga's face. So I really didn't know anything. They didn't do it the right way because they really didn't teach me. Mm-hmm. So when I got into a relationship, guess what I did? Whatever I wanted and whatever I thought was right. Whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah, shots.
And trust me, that wasn't the best thing. And because they never talked to me about it, even when I got into a relationship, I was scared to talk to them about, hey, what happens when you feel this way? Or what are you supposed to do about this? Me and him, we was fucking each other up. Mentally.
Fucking each other up,
mentally, we were really fucking each other up.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's the relationship between the two sexes that can create or destroy everything. Like, right. we really gotta figure this shit out, man.
I was his first adult girlfriend, and he was my first boyfriend in an adult relationship.
Right.
And I was scared to ask for advice or counsel. And the advice I was getting was from my homegirls that was the same age that was also in dysfunctional relationships. So guess what? We was all dysfunctional together. We was just.
That's dysfunction breeds dysfunction. Like that's
what I said.
When you don't know about the shit, it happens, man.
But there's no way to do that because now education is just a tap away. Everybody got a cell phone.
And you can find pretty much anything you want to on the internet now.
And he tried to delete all my podcasts. I have like 1 million podcasts on here because I listen to everything.
She don't got my podcast on there though.
Yes,